Let's talk about a tiny creature with a huge reputation. I mean, a world-class reputation for delivering pure, unadulterated pain. And its whole story really boils down to one simple, terrifying question. To really get the answer, you've got to put yourself there. So I want you to imagine you're deep in a lush, vibrant rainforest, somewhere in South America. You can almost feel it, right? The air is warm and heavy. You hear birds, insects buzzing, everything is just alive, and the light is trickling down through these giant leaves. It's beautiful, it's wild, and you're just taking it all in. And then, out of nowhere, this electric jolt of pain just explodes through your body. It is so sudden and so intense, it literally steals the air from your lungs. You whip your head around looking for a snake or something big, right? But you see nothing, because the source of this agony is much, much smaller. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. That incredible description comes from the one guy who would know best, Dr. Justin Schmidt. He actually created the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, and you better believe he put the bullet ant right at the very top, a 4.0 plus, the highest rating. This isn't just a sting, it's a whole other level of experience. So let's go ahead and meet the creature responsible for all this misery. Say hello to the bullet ant. And trust me, it has absolutely earned its title as the insect world's heavyweight champion of pain.
Okay, so its scientific name is Paraponera clavata. And just look at it, it's shiny and black and only about the size of your thumbnail. You'll find them in rainforests all the way from Honduras down to Brazil. It really doesn't look like much, does it? But that humble appearance is hiding a seriously powerful weapon.
And this is important because it clears up something a lot of people get wrong. You always hear about a bullet ant bite. And sure, they'll grab onto you with their jaws, but that's not where the real problem is. The pain, all that legendary pain, comes from a stinger in their abdomen. Just like a bee or a wasp. It's a 1-2 punch. They grip you, and then they inject you. So that brings us to the big question, right? The science behind it. Why is this sting so uniquely awful? How can something so tiny create an experience that's so overwhelming it doesn't last for minutes, but for hours? Well, as you might have guessed, the secret isn't just the physical poke from the stinger. Oh no, the secret is in the incredibly clever and frankly devious chemistry of its venom. To get what the venom does, you have to know a little bit about your own body, specifically these things called sodium channels. Just think of them as tiny little gates on your nerve cells. They open up to send a signal to your brain. Hey, ouch, something's wrong. And then they shut again. It's a quick, simple system. But the bullet ant venom is like a master hacker. It completely hijacks that system. The toxins in the venom hunt down those little sodium channel gates and basically jam them wide open. The gate is stuck. So what happens? Your nerves get stuck screaming a pain signal to your brain over and over and over with absolutely no way to turn it off. And that is why the pain is so relentless. It can last anywhere from 12 to even 36 hours. This punishing, non-stop agony is what earned the bullet ant its famous nickname, the 24-hour ant. Just try to imagine that feeling of walking on flaming charcoal, not for a second, but for a whole day.
And as if the pain wasn't enough, it's not the only thing you have to deal with. The venom also kicks off trembling, some pretty serious swelling, a racing heart, and you can even get temporary paralysis around where you were stung. The good news? It's almost never deadly to humans. But it is, without a doubt, a full-body ordeal.
So we've established this creature has an absolutely insane defense mechanism, which of course leads to the next question. How in the world have we humans learned to interact with it? The answers are pretty fascinating and sometimes, frankly, shocking. This is one of the most incredible examples of human endurance you will ever hear about. For the Sateré-Mawe people in the Brazilian Amazon, this unbelievable pain is actually harnessed. It's used as a test of courage. To become men, young boys have to wear these special gloves woven with dozens of living, stinging bullet ants. By enduring that pain, they prove their strength, their readiness for adult life. It's a really profound testament to their culture and their resilience. Okay, so let's get a bit more practical. What do you do if you're the one who gets stung? Well, the advice is actually pretty straightforward. Number one, and this is probably the hardest part, try to stay calm. Then, get the area cleaned up with soap and water, slap a cold compress on there to help with the swelling, and maybe take a pain reliever if you need it. Now here's the really critical part. While the sting itself isn't likely to be life-threatening, an allergic reaction is a completely different story. Just like with a bee sting, if you start to feel dizzy, if your face or throat starts to swell, or if you have any trouble at all breathing, you need to get medical help immediately. Don't wait. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway from this tiny insect? Well, the bullet ant is basically a walking masterclass in chemical warfare. It proves that in nature, real power isn't about being big and scary. It's about having the perfect, tiny key to unlock your opponent's biggest weakness. And in this case, that weakness is our very own nervous system. The bullet ant might be the king of pain, but it's definitely not alone out there. Which leaves you with a final thought, right? What other tiny creatures, from jellyfish to scorpions, command a level of respect that is way, way bigger than their size? It really makes you think, and it definitely makes you watch where you step.